Hi, I'm Kahil. Welcome to Full Stem Ahead Long Island. Long Island is known for our water sports and innovation, and great jobs are tied to both. You see those surfers catching waves? They're not just riding their surfboards, they're hanging 10 with technology. More specifically, they're crushing it with composites. Before we get into how composites make frolicking in the water fun, let's visit GSE Dynamics in Hauppauge and see how this big kahuna uses composites to create airplane and submarine parts for our nation's military. What does GSE Dynamics do?
A lot of the people who worked at Grumman then started their own small businesses. So I, like many, sort of came out of that heritage of Long Island manufacturing. We supply structures for the Army, Navy, and Air Force, as well as the primes that you often hear about, Northrop Grumman, Lockheed, and Boeing. Manufacturing as a whole is struggling right now to attract that next generation. My issue is really to just get in the middle schools, get in the high schools, expose them to the products that we make. You know, it could be the kid who doesn't think he's good in math, or she, for that matter. But then they come here, you know, they can see the part and then see it applied on the airplane, and it excites them. I think it's important the way we talk about what skill sets are required. Obviously, core skills in math and science are important, but if you show me that you have the potential to learn and you're excited about what we do, then I have hope that we can get there. So as I mentioned, it's difficult to find homegrown talent in terms of composite technicians. So I actually had to go out of state and hired two incredible teammates, one of which is David.
Hi David, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
So what is it that you're making here?
We have a trailing edge for the E2 Hawkeye. It's a reconnaissance plane, so it'll end up on the back side of the wing.
So this whole metal piece ends up on the plane?
This metal piece under it is actually the tool, the mold that will give us the shape of the final part. All of this fiber will come off the tool and become the part.
What is a composite?
It's any two things used together to make one. So here we have the fiberglass cloth and the epoxy resin. When it's cured, it's one. It's very light. The fibers are actually very strong. They can resist a lot of force.
So did you go to school to study manufacturing?
As a little kid, I spent a lot of time sailing, fell in love with boats. Most of your boats now are built with composites, fiberglass material. That's what actually got me into this specific industry.
Thanks, Dave. That was really interesting. So I see there's another airplane part being made. We're going to go meet with Justin. What is this that you're making here?
It holds life jackets on a life raft for a C5. So right now I'm just completing the process. I'm adding the peel fly, which absorbs some resin, and also this stuff is made to be able to peel off after it's cooked, so it doesn't stick to the bag and everything. Afterwards, we will send it over to the autoclave right over there. It's a massive tube that is pressurized and it also heats up, and that's what activates the resin inside of the fiberglass here.
I'm standing inside the autoclave. It's a big oven. Look at how huge it is. And how did you end up working in this field?
I lived in Seattle, applied to a wooden boat college, but then they had these composite boats that they're making. I like them so much more.
Now we're going to go see Kyle, who's in GSE's machine shop. What are you making here?
This is the clevis rod for a C5 Galaxy. It's a cargo plane for the U.S. military.
This is metal, right? Where do you get this stuff from?
Yes, well, when they go through the contracts, if we win a contract, they make a tooling for this actual part. There's a forging drawing. There's no hole here, everything's foam. We machine it down, we put the threads on.
Do you have anything to do with the programming of the machine?
For this particular piece, no. I do light programming.
Are you from around here?
Massive Beach.
All right, so you went to school on Long Island and
Yeah, William Floyd.
Did you go to college on Long Island also?
Yeah, I went to Suffolk, and I was going to become a pilot. I was doing aviation, found out I was colorblind, so I looked around and I happened to get it into CNC. I had an idea of what it was. CNC's involved in almost everything. The watch on your wrist, there's CNC involved.
Were you also one of those kinds of kids that like to build things and take things apart?
I have about 1 million Legos. I built everything. This is where the machining happens.
What's all the water that's being splashed around in there?
It's coolant for the tool. So when it's cut and it doesn't heat up, when it heats up, you get a lot of distortion. They break the tool itself. It can mess up the material.
What happens to all the metal that you take away?
We call it, scrap metal, and they pick it up. They'll recycle it, they'll break it back down, they'll make their steel bars or whatever out of it, and then might have to work on it again.
Right. Kyle, thank you so much for showing me what you do here. Now let's see how composites are being used to have fun in the sun. Now we're with local entrepreneur Mike Becker at Nature Shapes in Oakdale.
So we build custom surfboards and paddleboards. Our customers come in, we then design the board with them using a CAD software. We have a CNC machine that actually reads that software, cuts the board. That then comes up here and gets the fiberglass put on.
Do you use any special process?
This is kind of the old-fashioned way of doing it. We pull it out, we cut it with scissors, and we physically laminate the resin into it. If you take a look at this board, this is still sticky, it's still halfway through the process. This is a friend of ours from Long Beach, and he designed this board with us.
Oh, I like this one.
You guys will like this.
Yeah.
This is a stand-up paddle board.
So when you're getting ready to design a board, what kinds of things do you need to know?
How much do you weigh? I'm 160 pounds. Say, what board have you ridden before? I've ridden this 6 foot by 18 by 2 1/4. And in my head, I do the math and I go, okay, that's 27 liters of volume. The width and the thickness are what really make up the volume. We might say, okay, let's go from 2 1/4 to 2 3/8 or to 2 1/2 inches thick. And right away, you'll watch the volume jump up.
Were you like a math wizard in school?
Not at all. I always just really like surfing, so
Right.
I had to figure out the science and the tech of surfing
Right.
to make surfing into a business.
You're making a lot of boards. I'm sure you don't do it all by yourself.
You'll meet Tommy. He went to Northport High School, and he does a lot of the ding repair stuff here, but he also does a lot of the stuff with the carbon fiber, and he's very technical and hands-on.
Hi, Tommy. How are you?
I'm good. How's it going?
Good. Can you tell me about what goes on in this shaping room?
The blanks get cut with our CNC machine, then they come in this room, and then me and Mike, we finish the shape of the board.
Did you do anything in school that helped prepare you for this kind of work?
I took the Project Lead the Way courses in high school. So you start off with design, drawing, and production, then you move on to civil engineering and architecture, then you move on to principles of engineering. The main reason why I stayed home and to take the engineering course at Suffolk is primarily to stay here to surf. Most of the year it's pumping waves and I want to be on it. Well, after the 2 years at Suffolk, I plan to go to Stony Brook, like an environmental or coastal engineering, just work on the beaches and help protect them.
What is this?
This is the Carbon Compact. It's Mike's design, and it's the 2-piece surfboard.
Why would anybody want a 2-piece surfboard?
Just say you're going to travel somewhere, it takes up less space. The carbon fiber plates, they're on both sides, and the carbon fiber rods is what allows it to slide together. And then screws would go in on the top and on the bottom. General way it rides, it feels like a single board. Really, really solid.
All right, you ready to show me what you got?
Oh yeah.
See you next time on Full Stem Ahead Long Island.
I'm gonna take this thing for a ride. See you guys out there.